Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
What's news?
I've been on a 4-mile walk this morning.
4?
Mm-hmm. Apparently, there are many dogs who are suffering symptoms of depression. These are pandemic dogs.
Because they're
dogs who were
because they're no
bought
longer
during the
being
pandemic.
walked.
Well, they're no longer being doted upon because people have gone back to work. So Bob was reading the 10 signs your dog might have depression. And the first sign is listlessness. And we were like, okay, no. Maybe he's hiding some of his depression. Unwillingness to
about
eat.
Jeffrey?
Okay. Yeah.
But he's not a pandemic dog.
No, he's not a pandemic dog, but he still lived through 2 years of the pandemic, and we were wondering if he had any negative impact as a result. Clearly safe to say that he does not have any of the symptoms of a depressed dog. But one of the strategies, it said, for helping your dog out of its depression was once a week to go on a sniffari. And
hang on, what website is this? This is not that. What's that?
Think...
What's that play? It's not that Guardian thing you read, is it?
I don't know. Hang about, Bob. Where were you reading the thing about the dog? Oh yeah, it was the Guardian. Anyway,
it positively reeks of the Guardian.
It said, once a week, treat your dog to a sniffari. And Bob thought, as one would, what's a sniffari? And apparently it is where you allow your dog to choose the route of its walk. To which Bob said, that's called a walk in our house.
Yeah, I don't think it's that common.
Jeffrey always chooses his route. And this morning, he took me on a 4-mile walk.
This is a podcast in which two friends talk about the pleasures, absurdities, and imperfections of being human. I'm Simon Ellis.
And I'm Lee Miller. Welcome to Midlifing.
So, you know that historically we weren't interested in feedback. But in recent months, we have become excessively interested in feedback. And Mandy and Sue were feeding back that they agreed with Simon that the term ubiquitous was not something they wanted to apply to them.
So this is because in last week's episode, you referred to them as the ubiquitous Mandy and Sue. These are, to everyone else, all the other 7 of you listening, Mandy and Sue are... They are our number one listeners. I'm not sure.
I just want to say, this is not necessarily something that has to be their crown. If you want to vie for that title, folks in
Patreon.com. Yes, they are the self-described. What did they describe themselves as? I don't have the email in front of me.
Me either, but I think Queen's goddesses of the world, something like that. I thought it was appropriate, apt, and apposite.
But yes, you did describe them as ubiquitous, which I thought was given. How can someone be number one and ubiquitous? Doesn't make sense to me.
No, you're right, and I've reflected upon my use of language, and I feel that I've been brought up short. I'm sorry.
You've been called out, haven't you?
I'd like to.
They're going to try and cancel you next time.
That's fine, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to issue an apology right now, and I would like to wholeheartedly and unreservedly apologise for the pain that I have caused any of our listeners. This is not hedging. This is not couched in any other language than I am sorry. I did something wrong, and that caused distress.
Nice.
There you go.
That was much better than the last time you apologised to Mandy and Sue. Much, much better.
I've had practice.
Yeah, the last time you were grovelling around, there were lots of conditional clauses.
No. I did something inappropriate. Borderline offensive. I am sorry for my actions. I sound shoutier than I'm sorry.
Sound very similar to our Prime Minister, the way he... No.
Oh, that is cruel.
Sorry,
and
I'm
unusual
sorry.
punishment.
I'm sorry.
Like a bloviating rotten fish.
I'm sorry
sitting
if
by
I
the
caused any
shore.
offence just then.
You did, but I forgive you. I'm not going to cancel you. I'm going to just, I'm going to roll over it and go, I recognise it was said in jest. And sometimes your jokes don't land well because you have a cloth ear for comedy. It's like being tone deaf, only you joke deaf. I'm sorry for the offence I caused, Simon. I realise I went too far just then. I find you to be delightful and hilarious. Your sense of humour is spot on.
So now you're just a lying, squeamish prick, aren't you? What do you want to be?
A squeamish prick?
Yeah, lying, squeamish prick.
That's just a mental image I'm struggling.
Well, I did have a cloth ear. I do have a cloth ear for comedy, so I might have got some metaphors mixed up in there. But
I like it.
Metaphors, that's what they're made for. They're
made to be mangled.
They're made to be mangled. Mixed.
Metaphors made to be mangled and mixed. That's a great tagline, catchphrase. We've started really well.
We have started on a really poor note, but thanks everyone for all your feedback.
Yeah, we've had quite a bit, haven't we, of late?
Yeah, we're going to might have to delete the email address off the show notes soon.
info@midlifing.net.
I got a bit of grief from my sister the other day.
Did you?
She said, "Oh, so you've gone and effectively so now you're on social media in a kind of ruse through Instagram." And I was going, but no, but Lee, like that. That was pretty much how the conversation went. So, yeah. So you're all for not being on social media, except you're on social media. So what happened there? What went on there that means we, meaning midlifing, is now on Instagram?
You said, Lee, start an Instagram account so that more people will see our work. And I said,
did I really say that?
Pretty much.
I think it.
I mean, I don't want to sound like one of those people, but I have the receipts. I can read the text messages back to you. What happened was, we were talking about the increase in our listenership, and we were excited by this. And you said you wanted to get to a certain number per episode, and I increased that number tenfold and said, what if we were to get to this number per episode? And you said, we need an Instagram account.
I did not.
Are you fully sure you don't want me to bring up the text message?
Did I really say we need an Instagram account?
Well, Simon. Okay, so this is what you said. Last Sunday at 8:02, we were trying to decide how we might increase our listenership. I suggested we would have a crossover with another podcast about midlifing, about people in their middle years. And I found us 4 different shows about being middle-aged, 3 hosted by women, 1 hosted by men. The men we ruled out immediately because it was basically rampantly sexist, misogynistic and upsetting. So that was like, hard pass. And then we listened to 2 or 3 female-fronted. And you said, started listening to the Midlife Feast and couldn't do it. So podcast by numbers. Did make me wonder about an Instagram account, though. Each week, an image preview and a quote of the next episode. Not much effort, any potential payback. Now, if I've misread that, and it wasn't Simon saying, Lee, start an Instagram account, please unpack for me how I got that wrong.
So I can't find that text anywhere. Well, I really did say that, didn't I?
Yeah, you really did say that.
Yeah, you didn't exactly go...
No.
You didn't go, are you sure, Simon? You've got pretty strong feelings about Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook and social media in general. You went, I think we should do it. I'll set that up now. Let's start pushing this. It's good. X. I love the reticence.
Hey, I have never subscribed to hiding one's light under a bushel, no. So I'm not going to start now.
So yes, we have indeed. We have an Instagram account. It's Midlifing Pod, and I take full responsibility for this mess.
We're Insta official,
and I will not be looking at it, just in case people are wondering.
Although I did get an email from Instagram saying, are you logged on in London right now? And I was like, no, I'm not logged on in London. And midlifing listeners, Simon was very clear that I had to be the one who would lead on the Instagram because he was not going to look at it. And I was like, fine, that's not a problem. So I had to text and go, have you logged on? Because otherwise we've been hacked. He's like, yeah, I just couldn't resist.
Could you change the password and not tell me, though? That would be great.
I can absolutely do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be Simon, stop looking now.
Underscore.
Underscore. Susan was right.
So yes, we have created a Instagram phenomenon with at least 70 followers. It's the internet was creaking the other night when it all began.
I think we nearly shut it down. Terrifying. So tell me, have you had any other bits of feedback from last week or recent episodes? Because I had some dick responses, but they can wait.
Well, we had a serious one, which I think is important. And so this is from not last week's episode.
That would have been 71, I think, the week before last.
71. You're right. God, that's twice. That's twice.
That's twice in an episode. Let's hope this isn't going to become a habit of me being right.
I'm
horrified.
So this is from Helen. Helen Newell. We checked with Helen. It was okay to
mention her name.
Mention her name. Dear Simon, lovely hair, and Lee, lovely voice. I did respond to Helen as much love from hair and voice, which would have been a great name for the podcast, but no, we're stuck with midlife. She gives us some feedback, which is extremely excellent feedback. This is. Should I just read this? Do you think that's the best way to do this?
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to do it.
So what prompts me to write is the episode about suicide. So this is episode 71. For various reasons, I couldn't listen straight away. But I did listen, and it was a superb discussion. More people need to listen to this and this kind of thing and talk about what is still very much an extremely difficult thing to talk about. She said, I would add only one thing. We shouldn't be afraid to talk to people we suspect are thinking of ending their lives. Perhaps they've gone beyond asking for help, which is what effectively the sort of the focus of our conversation was about. What does it take to ask for help?
Yeah.
Perhaps here I'm back at Helen's writing, perhaps they need someone to start the conversation for them. So when we ask, are you all right? And we hear fine, the conversation shouldn't end there. This is a difficult conversation. I've had it with people I know, but I'm certainly no expert at any of this. So here's a link that might help some people. And that link is from a website called rethink.org, and it will be in the show notes. So thank you, Helen. I don't know what else I don't think there's anything to add, except I just think that the kind of clarity that it can't stop with the possibility that someone can't express, or if someone can't ask for help, then it needs to go way beyond that in terms of what our responsibilities are. So I really appreciated that from Helen.
Yeah, I think you're right. It doesn't really require us to do any more talking about it because, as Helen said in her email, we're not qualified in this. I like that idea of not stopping with hearing somebody saying, I'm fine. And thanks for the link, Helen.
Thanks so much, Helen. So that's all I've got in terms of follow-up. Actually, I think I should check. No, I think that's pretty much all I've got.
So I got some...
Did you get dick feedback?
I got dick feedback.
It's a really tough transition, that one, isn't it?
It is a really tough transition, but I suppose it's situation normal for midlifing because we do veer between the topics that emerge in our life for a variety of reasons in a variety of moments.
But by the way, just before you go on with the...
Hello. Sorry, I just dropped something. Carry on.
Before you go on with the dick feedback, has your mum got into Bridgerton series 2 yet?
I haven't spoken to her since it dropped yesterday. So
do you think she's had a long night? Her eyeballs are sort of...
I don't know. She's I think she might have come out of the other side of her Netflix addiction.
Oh, I see.
So I was talking to her. We spent some time with her not long ago, and I said, "Oh, and how's Netflix going?" She said, "Oh, I've not switched it on recently. I've been reading books."
I switched it on.
So there you go. So she's been reading books of late. Don't know what books, but she's been reading books. There
Great.
you go.
Okay, so maybe not. Maybe I wonder if it'll draw her back in.
It might do. It might do.
Anyway, let's, as they say, circle back to Dix.
Yeah. So this is from long-time listener, first-time caller, and she is one half of a married couple. So this is Terry and James. I haven't asked their permission to use their names, but there will be a follow-up text after this, and either there will be a big dead spot where
I don't think I know them. I don't think I know them.
I don't think you do know them. I do.
Hi, just to make it harder for Lee's edit. Hi, Terry and James. Lovely to...
Oh, no, it won't make it hard, because if I haven't got their permission, I will simply cut this entire section out. Fear not. So, obviously, the average size conversation, which originated from the podcast, to which I was like...
Episode 72.
Congrats. Episode 72. To which I was like, congrats, James. I'd say you're above average. Hand clapping emoji. But then I was like, although being neutro spicy, I have no concept of time, space, or size.
Being
so maybe
what?
I shouldn't.
Being what?
Neutro spicy. I don't know. These are millennials. I don't know what words they are using. She might have been trying to type ultra spicy and it just came out wrong.
But even then, what's ultra spicy? I mean, I want to know what spicy is first before I even get to ultra.
Spicy is like... Spicy would be like being cheeky.
Oh.
You know, like, or shady, I guess would be another word.
Right.
Anyway, so then although being spicy, I have no concept of time, space, or size, so maybe I shouldn't congratulate you too soon. I wanted a tape measure, she says, only to see what 5 to 6 inches was, not to measure James's dick. But the tape measure was upstairs, so instead it was just kind of lifting up random objects around the living room while reading Google and going, holding them up to James saying, is it this one? Is it this one? And then she says, Google then started to throw up some stuff about the average girth. And then what followed was a hysterical conversation, which is frankly too much information for you.
Oh, so there's sorry, Terry and James, there's a line that you shouldn't cross in terms of too much information?
I was... I did respond and I said, it's interesting because that idea of congratulating James... and it's like, but for what? What's the congratulations? And then we had a more measured and serious conversation about what exactly are we congratulating?
I'm just for? You're so clever. You had a more measured conversation. I have such a puerile sense of humour. I really do. It's embarrassing. It's so embarrassing.
And that.
I am embarrassed for myself, just to be clear, at how puerile my sense of humour is.
Then we talked about, being a grower or a shower, and the idea that being...
I don't know what that is.
Oh, you don't know you must know the concept of being a grower or a shower. I
have no idea.
Okay, so a shower is somebody who has a penis which is large to look at.
Oh, when flaccid.
But when when flaccid, and then when it becomes erected, it simply
the same
stands
size.
up. Yeah. Whereas somebody who is a shower has a smaller penis, which then expands. A grower, exactly. Yeah. Shower or grower. Anyway, so then Terry was saying like, yeah, what's this thing about a shower or a grower? Like, don't worry, I'm a grower, not a shower, but it's still going to come for you. And so, we had to come for you. As in, that was probably not the best choice of words. I have a feeling that this entire moment needs to be excised and replaced with a conversation about how yesterday Bob and I started gardening because spring has sprung.
Also, my niece Ruby, long-time listener. Actually, I'm not sure she does. But she said, Simon, it's not really about midlifing, isn't it? She said, it's really just two middle-aged people talking about stuff. I said, yeah.
That's fair.
She's right.
That is fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the midlife, like those podcasts you sent to me, where a lot of them were about, advice for people in midlife.
Oh yes, like how to deal with empty nest syndrome.
Yes, which we're going to cover next week, because both of us have had very full nests and they're now empty.
Hey, we had our first face-to-face Portuguese lesson in England yesterday.
Face-to-face?
Yeah.
With the same teacher you've been learning from?
No.
A new teacher?
Because, yeah,
in Totnes?
we have... In Totnes, I was walking Jeff. Jeff took me on a sniffari yesterday. Unsurprisingly, because Jeff being apparently the most entitled dog on the planet, Jeff took me on a very particular walk yesterday, which was effectively the reverse of a walk that he would usually take me on.
Wait, so when you come out of the second door, well, effectively the third door,
the door onto the high street.
Yeah, the door onto the high street. Is there anything in your body which indicates, or when you go on a sniffari with Jeff, is there anything in your body which indicates which direction to go?
No, Jeffrey is the first one out of the door,
and he decides. So
he goes in a direction,
and he tends to go down the hill. Surely,
he tends to go down the hill, but not always. Sometimes he'll go out of the door and then sit, and if he sits, that means he wants to cross the road. So
not because he's thinking and deciding.
No, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Yesterday he sat down and we crossed the road, and that meant that the route that we went on eventually took us to the bottom of town, and we came up the hill.
Yeah.
And because I came up the hill, I walked past a notice board I don't usually go past, and I saw a sign for a native Portuguese speaker giving lessons in Totnes.
Incredible.
And I sent a text message, and she came round for a lesson last night.
And what was it like? Were you nervous?
I was beside myself beforehand.
Did you vacuum?
Do you need me to answer that question?
I think all our listeners would know the answer to that question. Yes, Lee.
I vacuumed.
Of course he vacuumed. What a stupid question,
bathroom.
Simon. Apologise for that right now. I'm sorry if I caused any offence.
I cleaned the windows, Simon.
Did you, as you were doing that, were you going through all the nouns in Portuguese?
Yeah, I was.
Finistra.
I was trying to conjugate. I wasn't doing any of those things. I was. So yeah, that was.
So you were nervous,
a throwaway thing. Yeah, super nervous.
And did it start in English and then shift into Portuguese?
It sort of bounced around all over the place because she wanted to get a sense of what we were interested in.
Did you say critical race theory with a Portuguese accent? Oh. You're not going to rise to that.
The thing is, Simon, when I'm in Portugal, I'm a very different person.
It's so interesting.
And I think, okay, I was talking about this with a friend at work. You notice I say a friend at work and not a frolic.
Which is great. Mm-hmm. Great. Well done.
Well, that's okay because this is actually a friend at work. So there you go. Of which I would say I have made 3 friends.
Do you want to name them?
No, but one of them knows who she is because she listens. One of them doesn't listen but might start, and one of them will never listen.
Well, I want to know why that one person will never listen.
Oh, because I think podcasts are sensibly beneath her. She's got other things to do. She likes to play on her Xbox and kill things.
Oh.
Or is it a PlayStation?
Oh, okay. So she's a young person.
No, she's your age. You know gamers come in all shapes and sizes and ages.
Yeah. People on Xboxes killing things, I don't think of them as people in their 50s.
And yet, they are. Do you think of them as female?
No. I think of them as sweaty, post-adolescent men in man caves, with massive screens and pizza boxes.
I'm getting a sense that there is a little bit of judgment attached to that observation, Simon. Do you want to unpack that?
No, I want you to go back to your Portuguese lesson and why you didn't want to talk about critical race theory.
Oh, I was saying this to a friend, to my friend,
yeah.
to the gaming person actually, and that is, as this country seems to continue to slide inexorably towards the toilet. Let me rephrase that. That just, oh God, that came out.
It was great. You were great. You inexorably, you were spot on, and then it was the toilet bit that let you down.
Yeah, I think what, yeah.
Abyss.
Well, no, I don't even mean that. What I mean is, because I don't think it's the country, I don't think it's the people in the country. I think that there is, and I've said this before, there is a broken electoral system that allows a particular breed of politician to remain in control.
Unchecked.
Worryingly so. Unchecked.
Yeah. I mean, that's just two-party political systems. Democratic systems are a little bit shy of being
But
functional.
also, two-party is not great, but first past the post in a two-party context is
I meant first past,
almost
effectively they're the same. Yes, you're right. Sorry, I did mean first past the post, but they're effectively they go hand in hand, really.
They do go hand in hand, but I think if we didn't have first past the post, anyway, we don't need to get into electoral reform right now. Because guess what? That's probably above our pay grade.
Hasn't stopped you in the past. Stops me every week. Not you.
Wow.
I'm so sorry. It's so not true.
You are neutro spicy today, Simon. What's going on?
I'm ultra spicy today.
You are ultra neutro spicy. I don't know what is going on.
Neutro spicy. I can't wait to use that word at work this week.
I want you to go
in a meeting. This meeting's got a little neutro spicy.
This is neutro spicy.
Okay.
And if you can also throw in, you're being low-key shitty to me.
Low-key shitty, yeah.
Yeah, because then I would be like, Simon, you are officially 22.
So I'm sorry. Yes, it's uncalled for, and I do apologise if...
Yeah, of course you do. Anyway.